Speaking of independence and great things, the NFL season is now in the playoffs, and we're in the championship weekends, which means that the AFC Conference and the NFC Conference have their championship games. Four teams remain. On the AFC side, it is the Kansas City Chiefs and the Cincinnati Bengals. And on the NFC side is the San Francisco 49ers and the Los Angeles Rams. Now, on the AFC side, the Chiefs are definitely the favorites. They have a fantastic quarterback who just led his team to victory. His name is Patrick Mahomes. Beat the Buffalo Bills last week, 42-36. And he had an incredible game. I mean, like, led his team down the field with 13 seconds left in the fourth quarter, down by 3 to kick the field goal
into
and then
OT.
send it into overtime. They won the coin toss, and then he drove his team downfield the first
in like
drive,
3
and he
plays. Yeah.
sealed the deal right away. Fantastic, super clutch. Can't say enough good things about Patrick Mahomes. It should be a great AFC championship. Joe Burrow is on the Cincinnati Bengals. He is the quarterback there. He has an incredible weapon in Jamar Chase, who's a wide receiver. Led the league for rookies in receptions. I don't know if he led the league in receiving touchdowns, but he did lead the league in receiving rookie yards. Great weapon. Joe Burrow's on fire right now. Super clutch as well. I don't know. It's just like definitely shaping up to be a really good game. KC's defense is probably slightly better than Cincinnati's. Cincinnati's missing a few defensive linemen in that game. What are your guys' thoughts on the AFC Championship as we go into it?
I think, first of all, what a game, and the Bills Chiefs, that was like probably,
The Super Bowl.
yeah,
Yeah,
that
that'll
was
probably
just
be better than-
amazing. I
Josh
can't remember
Allen?
seeing a game that good in a really long time.
Josh Allen, fucking dust.
Josh Allen's got to be one of the best overall young quarterbacks
Yeah.
in the league right now. Like I can't speak. In
Patrick
terms of
Mahomes,
versatility. In terms of versatility though, it's got to be Josh Allen in terms
I
of
still
being able to run
disagree.
the ball and pass.
Yeah, but so can
It's
Pat.
Patrick Mahomes though. It's Patrick Mahomes. He's so clutch. He's just so clutch.
Yeah, I mean, I said he's up there. I didn't say he is the best, but he's got to be one of them.
He's
Cole,
fucking
what do
dusty
you
and he
what do
can't
you
win a
think?
playoff game.
Who's taking this AFC?
Tough to say. I mean, obviously, I would love to see an upset,
Yeah.
but I think Patrick Mahomes, he's too good under pressure. He has the experience being in the playoffs in the Super Bowl. I mean, this is the AFC Championship, so probably not the same level as the Super Bowl, but and after the last game that they just had, they're riding high. So momentum's definitely on their side, being the favorite and coming off of a great game that I didn't think they were going to win. So I think they have it for the AFC. They'll be in the Super Bowl again.
Yeah, I'm genuinely shocked. I really thought the Bills were going to take that game. I mean, when Tyreek Hill on like a play from like behind the 50 just turns the Jets on, fucking peace sign to a guy in front of him and gets a touchdown, man. That's like, how does a defense stop that, man? How does anyone stop that?
They were gas, bro. The Bills defense. They were like number one in scoring defense, and they were like
They were
number one in
tired.
receiving yards, dude. They were insane. They were just tired.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes will do that to you.
I think. I mean, I definitely think Josh Allen deserves a Super Bowl, but I think he will like be back in the near future.
Not if not if Matt gets better.
Well, that'll probably be a new rivalry. But I'm saying I felt bad for Josh Allen, but I was still, after what they did to the Pats, I was still such a fucking KC fan that day. And I'm still rooting for KC against Cincy because I think Cincy I don't know, I think the Titans deserved it over Cincy personally. I know someone here disagrees with that strongly, but I do think I don't know. I just think they played better in the regular season, and even without Derrick Henry. I just think if they had a better quarterback, if they didn't have Tannehill, they would have beat the Bengals.
Tannehill had that game in the bag, bro. Like, they were driving downfield. They were about to close that game out, and he just INT. Just rips an INT into the middle of traffic.
Yeah, I've been rooting for the Bengals all postseason long. I remember in the wild card week they played the Raiders, and I was rooting for them then. They won. It was a very close game, to be fair.
Yeah, they also shouldn't have won that, but whatever.
They beat the Raiders, and then they played the Tennessee Titans. They probably should have lost that game. I didn't really have that much faith that they were going to win that game. And like there was a drive towards the end where Tannehill blew it, but like Tennessee was on the verge of winning the game. All he had to do pretty much was preserve the ball. He didn't even really have to like do anything special. I think he needed like 10 or 15 more yards to get into field goal range through a pick. But this week, I mean, you'd have to be a moron to not pick Patrick Mahomes to win the AFC Championship. I want to go with Joe Burrow because it's a great story. I love Cincinnati because of the fact that they didn't win a playoff game in like 30 fucking years.
Now they're in the AFC Championship.
1988. And now they're in the AFC Championship. So it's a great story, but I'm not going to pick against Patrick Mahomes. I'm sorry. Like, Patrick Mahomes has ice in his veins, bro. Like, he's going to win the game. He's going to the Super Bowl. He's probably going to win the Super Bowl.
Am I the only one? Am I the only one? It just feels like it feels wrong that the Pats aren't in the AFC Championship anymore.
The Pats should be.
Just so used to it.
Yeah.
Such a cringe comment.
That's not true. I'm a real New England fan.
I'm glad other teams are getting a shot, but I'm just waiting for the days where the Pats just own it again.
Especially
maybe if we trade for Josh Allen.
When they
believe
have
in
Mac, you think they would do that?
I don't.
You don't like Mac.
Not a huge fan.
He's not a bad. That's why.
What gave it away?
He's a big Pats fan, honestly, because
no, I'm a huge Pats fan. It's I don't know. I don't see Mac the same way as most fans do. He doesn't have a strong arm, and that's like my biggest critique. He's mentally 100% there. He's really intelligent pre-snap, and he's really good at reading defenses, but his arm strength is very questionable. His ability to push the ball down the field is what I see an issue with right now. And unless that improves, I don't know.
That game against the Chargers, no throws over just downfield that made it. No impressive throwing.
You can't deny it though. His accuracy, like past 15 yards throughout the season, has been questionable, and it's been a huge.
It's a bit inconsistent. I think he's going to develop. I think he's a rookie, and he showed a lot of promise. I think he's only going to get better.
I hope so. I hope you're right. But that's what I saw from Mac. Not to say he's a bad player. He had a good rookie season, all things considered, because of the rest of the rookies and how fucking pathetic their seasons were.
Jesus.
But anyway, moving on to the NFC.
I was going to say, before you move on, I think in the near future, the Bills-Pats are going to be a big rivalry again because, like, the Bills dominated in the 90s, and then they made it to 4 Super Bowls, lost all of them. And then the Pats obviously have dominated since 2000. But I think when Mac Jones grows a bit, you'll see the rivalry build up again. And just for all the viewers, we were at a bar in downtown Boston during the Pats Bills game, and there were some Bills fans there, and I was so tempted to chirp them about those 4 Super Bowls.
That's dangerous, bro. I feel after a loss, being a Bills fan in enemy territory. Before we move on to the NFC, I don't know if you guys saw it from Colin Cowherd. He's a sports journalist and like reporter. He has a show on ESPN. He made a crazy take, or like he was saying, I wouldn't even say crazy, but just some interesting stuff about like Belichick's next moves with like their QB. And I mean, like he was basically framing it as if like Belichick doesn't have much time left in the league. So if he wants to shot at a championship, Mac's probably not his best option because Mac still needs time to develop. So we're saying like a good alternative would be to trade for Russell Wilson. Like imagine that. You're saying like that would be probably his best chance at getting another ring before Belichick retires or moves on.
I don't hate that take. I actually think it's a pretty decent take.
I think.
Yeah, Jake loves that take because he's brought it up before.
I think Russell Wilson is an amazing quarterback, and he would be great, but if you look at the history of how Bill Belichick builds championship-winning teams and consistently, it's because he puts together groups of young guys, and they develop and mesh together, and there's a couple years where they like make playoffs and lose. Because of Brady, they would go even as far as AFC Championship and lose. But then there's always like a 3 to 4 year span where there's Super Bowl, Super Bowl, Super Bowl, like just consistently. Like and that's because of Bill Belichick's coaching style. So I think it's just sensationalist sports media talking there, where it's like championship every year. No, that's not how it works. That's not how Bill Belichick's ever done it.
I don't know.
Fair take.
Personal take is like, I don't know if Mac Jones is it. He might be someday. I'd be very open to either moving him or, I don't know, trying to bring another quarterback in to see what they could potentially do as well. Just because if Belichick, but the thing is, I don't know if Coward's take was because of the fact that he thinks like Belichick's going to retire at some point, or he doesn't want to coach like into the like long-term future. But like personally, I don't hate the idea of like having Russell Wilson come in, or Aaron Rodgers, or Deshaun Watson. Anyone else that I'm missing? Is there another
Nah,
quarterback?
not
that
Aaron
is potential-
Rodgers, bro. He
Yeah,
can't.
I don't think
he
Aaron
can't
Rodgers,
close,
no.
bro. He can't close.
Yeah, but with the New England team, he might be able to close. I'm not gonna lie.
Nah, he'll
He
cause
might be able to
drama,
close.
bro. He's a drama queen, bro.
Any one of those options, I'd feel comfortable with. I'd actually feel more confident in championship possibilities than with Mac Jones, but I don't know. I see him very differently than you guys see him. You guys see him as a very promising prospect. I saw him somewhat in that light, but he definitely regressed as the season went on, I think. But who knows?
I think defenses got more advanced throughout the season because that's how coordinators function, right? They just get better as they get more tape. So that posed new challenges to Mac, but I think we'll see. We'll see. I'm hoping. I think he'll develop with his receivers throughout the off season. Keep in mind,
Nelson
Mac
Aguilar.
found out.
Yeah, we get better
Yeah,
receivers.
okay,
like
I
someone
agree.
Nelson Aguilar.
Someone other than Nelson Aguilar would be the ideal. I'll say that. I'll agree. We should see if we can. Belichick should see if he can get like Justin Jefferson over. He's got to find guys who just really want to win. You know, that's how Belichick pulls big
He needs to hit
games.
better in the draft on offense. He doesn't hit very well on offensive players in the draft.
I
That's like his biggest
disagree. I
issue.
mean, Sonny Michel and Damian Harris did well for the Patriots.
Running backs, it's all right.
Also,
And
O line,
Stephon,
O line.
what Ramondre Stevenson, he
Yeah.
actually hit on him too. That was like a third or fourth rounder last year.
Yeah,
But I mean, he hits on O line, but he doesn't hit on receiver. He's had a lot of busts at receiver.
Yeah.
Tons.
Malcolm Mitchell would have been sick though. Malcolm Mitchell would have
But
been.
he's still
elite.
in the bust
He is a
category. So
bust.
is Aaron
He kept getting
Donaldson. So is
injured.
Kembrell Tompkins. So is N'Keal Harry. He's hit a
Yeah.
lot of busts at
That's
receiver.
fair.
Anyway, we're going to the NFC. Done with the
Yeah.
AFC.
Another former Pat playing.
Okay. Yeah. So we have the Los Angeles Rams in SoFi Stadium hosting the San Francisco 49ers. The San Francisco 49ers are a very interesting story this postseason. Wild card round, they beat the Dallas Cowboys in a very archaic game where clock management, which is not Mike McCarthy's strong suit. He's the Dallas Cowboys head coach. Left like 13 seconds on the game clock, and then like Dak handed it to his center. The center put it on the ground. They needed the ref to spot it. It was like a cluster fuck, and the play didn't get off before the time ran out, so they never got a chance. And then the 49ers won. I think they won by like 6, maybe 3. I don't remember what the score was. It would have been 6. It would have been 6. Anyway. And then in the divisional round, they beat the Green Bay Packers at Lambeau. Aaron Rodgers had an awful game. The 49ers special teams were the reason they won that game. Jimmy Garoppolo played fucking awful. But the San Francisco 49ers special teams did just enough to eke out a 13-10 victory in probably the most boring game of the entire postseason.
Yeah, that game was pretty
Such
slow.
a boring game.
Pat's Bills was a pretty boring game too.
Yeah, and
Yeah,
now
that was just a disgrace. But
after 2 surprising upsets, the San Francisco 49ers find themselves in the NFC Championship game, in my opinion, on a bit of borrowed time. And then there is the Los Angeles Rams. Who they play in the? Do you guys remember who they played in the wild card?
The
I have no
Bucs.
idea.
Yeah.
No, they played them in divisional.
Oh, and wild
Wild.
card. Who did they play?
The Eagles played the Bucks. I don't remember who the 7th seed was in the NFC. Anyway, they beat whoever that was.
Did they
Then
play
played
the
Bucks.
Cardinals? Was it the Cardinals?
Oh, I think you're right. They did play
Yeah.
the Cardinals, and they actually like destroyed
Cardinals
the
got
Cardinals.
shredded,
Yeah.
bro.
I remember
Yeah,
that.
you're right. Yeah, Matt Stafford has actually thrown 0 picks. He had a great game against the Cardinals.
Rams
Pretty
went
much
Cardinal hunting that week, bro.
easily won that game, and then they beat the Bucks by a very narrow margin. Tom Brady actually almost let a comeback in the fourth quarter
Yeah.
when he was down like 27-3. They came back to tie it 27-27. Matt Stafford threw up like a bomb to Cooper Kupp on botched coverage from the Bucks and ended up getting like I want to say like a 50 or 60-yard gain. Set them up for field goal, and they like nailed the field goal with no time left, so they beat the Bucks. It was almost going to overtime. I was like, oh my god, the Bucks are going to win this game. Tom Brady's a legend, but they just eked out the win. And now these two teams find themselves in the NFC Championship game. To me, this one's a no-brainer. Jimmy Garoppolo fucking blows. Matt Stafford is a savage who's trying to prove something. I got the Rams. I mean, the one thing I will say is the 49ers are 6-0 in their last 6 appearances against the Rams.
I was gonna mention
But they're on borrowed time. Like the 49ers are not that great of a football team. They win every week in spite of their quarterback, which maybe shows how complete of a team they actually are.
Yeah.
But it's interesting.
Their defense is really good on the 49ers.
Yeah, for sure.
Well, I was gonna bring up that point you said, where like the last 6 times they played, the 49ers won. But at the same time, I'm also shocked. I mean, I thought the 49ers, I bet in favor of them um against Green Bay. I also just hate Green Bay, so maybe that was just wishful thinking. But still, like I knew they would go further than people think because of players like Ayuk, for example, or Elijah Mitchell. I think they do have some good offense players, but at the same time, with a team that has Stafford, Cooper Kupp, and OBJ, like I just don't think it'll be close. I think it's going for LA.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah. I think, there's no stopping Stafford and Cooper Kupp and OBJ. And even then, like, Jefferson's a solid guy, too. Like, just, they're getting, their defense has finally meshed. Like, they're finally playing, like, the way they should be. Which, I don't know if you guys remember, but, like, 4 or 5 weeks ago, as the season was coming to a close, like, the Rams defense looked awful. And you're like, how are these guys this bad? They have like every star in the league on this one side of the field. Like, how are they not like absolutely obliterating these teams? And it's like they're starting to play like that now.
For sure. I
So
definitely
you
agree.
guys all predicting Chiefs Rams as Super Bowl?
Yeah, Cole, what's your take on the NFC Championship game?
I think Rams, like
Rams.
no doubt. Yeah.
I agree.
I'd like to see something though from the 49ers. Like I don't think badly of them. So, I'd like to see something. I like to see them put up a good fight. But yeah, probably the Rams.
They
Yeah.
probably will put up a good fight. They're in division rivals, and they're like always keep it super competitive. The Rams should win this game, though. Like, there's really no excuse for them not to.
Yeah.
It's fair, and that's pretty much it for NFL. So we all pretty much think it's Kansas City Rams. I would love to see Cincinnati Rams. That would be great, but that's probably not going to happen. I like the Bengals a lot, and I'll be rooting for the Bengals, but I don't bet against Patrick Mahomes. Never have, never will.
Yeah. And I'd like to see Garoppolo get a Super Bowl with the 49ers, but that's also wishful thinking.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think it'll be Chiefs Rams realistically, but like that's the thing about playoff football, man. Sometimes those huge upsets do happen. So yeah,
Totally agree.
I think it'll still be a great weekend of football.
Well, next
The
week we'll
game's on
find out
Sunday.
who was right.
Or on
Yeah.
Sunday.
Yeah, they're both on Sunday, right?
Yeah, they're
Okay.
both. I think there's a 3 o'clock and a 6:30.
Oh, great! I love that they do that. I like the 3 o'clock, 6:30 schedule.
Yeah.
Yeah, facts.